For years, he always said, this is going to turn into a monster. I have no idea. I'm an artist.
Everyone knows Kevin Mack as the tough, level-headed manager keeping the chaos of Count's Kustoms in check. But a recent wave of chatter has exploded online about a heartbreaking discovery behind his garage that changed everything. Fans are scrambling for answers, terrified that the glue holding Danny Koker's empire together has finally cracked. The truth behind those garage doors is more shocking than any rumor you've heard. Inside the real garage. You might have seen the headlines flashing across your social media feeds. They say things like, "Tragedy strikes Kevin Mack," or "Garage fire destroys everything." It sounds like a nightmare scenario for any car lover, let alone a legend from counting cars. The internet is famous for taking a tiny grain of sand and turning it into a massive mountain, and that is exactly what happened here. But to get to the truth, we have to dig through a lot of dirt. If you could sneak past the security gates and peel back the door of Kevin's personal garage, you wouldn't find a pile of ash. You would find something that makes grown men cry tears of joy. It is a massive, hulking piece of American history that Kevin calls Big Blue. This isn't just a car he bought to flip for a quick profit. This car is his heart and soul. It is a 1969 Cadillac sedan DeVille. For those of you who don't speak car, this thing is a land yacht. It is huge, heavy, and built like a tank. Kevin didn't pick this car because it's fast. He picked it because of his grandma. When he was just a little kid, his grandmother drove a 1969 Cadillac. That memory stuck with him. The smell of the old vinyl, the floaty feeling of the suspension, the way the heavy door clicked shut, it all stayed in his brain. Kevin spent years hunting for the perfect one. When he finally found it, he didn't just slap a coat of paint on it. He went all in. He painted it a custom baby blue that shines like the Las Vegas sky. But he didn't stop there. He added a white pearl roof that sparkles when the desert sun hits it just right. Under the hood, he kept it old school. It has the original 472 cubic inch V8 engine. He had the whole thing rebuilt so it runs like a sewing machine. It doesn't roar like a race car. It hums with deep, low power. The inside is just as special. Kevin had the interior done in custom gray vinyl. But the devil is in the details. He added blue stitching that matches the exterior paint perfectly. It is a cruiser. It is made for rolling down the Las Vegas Strip, slow and low. This car proves that Kevin isn't just a money guy holding a clipboard. He is a car guy to the bone. But if Big Blue is his dream, the next car in his garage was a total nightmare. The Nightmare Z28. Not everything in Kevin's garage is a shiny trophy. Tucked away in the corner for a long time was a car that represented frustration, lost money, and a whole lot of headaches. It was a 1979 Camaro Z28. Now, a '79 Camaro isn't usually the most expensive car on the block, but this one was special because of how much trouble it caused. Kevin has wanted a '79 Z28 since he was in high school. It was the cool car to have back then. During an episode of Counting Cars, Danny Koker and the crew actually bought one. The plan was simple: buy it, fix it up, and maybe Kevin would take it home. But reality TV is messy. The car they bought was in terrible shape. It was what they call a basket case. It had rust, mechanical issues, and needed way more work than they thought. The show wrapped up that episode, but the car didn't get finished the way Kevin dreamed. It sat there. It became a symbol of projects that get left behind when life gets busy. For years, it just took up space. But recently, Kevin decided to finally tackle the beast. He didn't just restore it, he turned it into a monster. He dropped a 383-stroker engine into it. For those who don't know, a stroker engine is modified to have a longer piston stroke, which means massive torque. When Kevin starts this thing up now, it doesn't hum like the Cadillac. It screams, it rattles your chest. He added deep dish Kragar wheels, which give it that classic muscle car stance. Ghetto Bob, the shop's interior wizard, worked his magic on the inside. It went from a rusted heap to a street-eating machine. It stands as proof that Kevin Mack finishes what he starts, even if it takes him years. The $75,000 betrayal. While Kevin's personal garage is safe, the heartbreaking discovery people are talking about might actually be referring to something that happened inside the walls of Count's Kustoms. This wasn't a fire or a car crash, it was a betrayal that cut Danny and Kevin deeper than any knife. Imagine running a business with your best friends. You trust them with your life. You trust them with your money. Then one day you look at the books and realize something is wrong. Seriously wrong. This is the story of Joseph Frontiera. He was hired to handle the money. He was supposed to make sure the bills got paid and the taxes were filed. Kevin Mack, as the general manager, relied on him to keep the ship floating while Danny focused on the art. But behind their backs, a disaster was brewing. A lawsuit filed by Count's Kustoms claimed that Frontiera was using the company's bank account like his own personal piggy bank. And we aren't talking about a few dollars for lunch. We are talking about $75,000. The details of what they found are wild. The lawsuit alleged that Frontiera used the shop's money to put a down payment on his own Land Rover Range Rover. Imagine driving to work in a luxury car bought with stolen money from your boss. He also allegedly bought personal airline tickets. While Danny and Kevin were sweating in the shop trying to get cars finished for the show, this guy was reportedly flying around on their dime. But it gets worse. The discovery that really hurt Kevin was the signature stamps. The lawsuit claimed Frontiera had custom stamps made with Danny Koker's and Kevin Mack's signatures on them. He could literally stamp their names on checks and cash them without them ever knowing. That is a level of sneakiness that is hard to wrap your head around. The fallout was brutal. Because Frontiera wasn't paying the bills, the company got hit with an IRS penalty of about $18,000 for late taxes. Kevin Mack prides himself on running a tight ship. Finding out that someone had been drilling holes in the hull right under his nose was a massive blow. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the broken trust. If you think the embezzlement was crazy, wait until you hear about what happened to Rolly Sabo. Rolly was the shop's detailer. You remember him? The guy with the thick Hungarian accent who polished the cars until they looked like mirrors. He was a fan favorite because he was funny and loved his job. But one night, tragedy struck Rolly in a very real way. Rolly had a super customized trailer. This wasn't just a box on wheels, it was his livelihood. It contained thousands of dollars worth of specialized detailing equipment. Buffers, polishes, rare tools, everything he needed to make a living was in that trailer. One morning, he went to get his trailer and it was gone. Vanished. Someone had hooked it up and driven off into the night. Rolly was devastated. He went on social media and pleaded with fans to keep an eye out for it. He posted pictures, hoping the massive Counting Cars audience could help him hunt it down. This event is often confused with the rumors about Kevin Mack's garage. People hear Counting Cars star robbed or garage equipment stolen, and they assume it was Kevin. But it was poor Rolly. The sad part is, losing that equipment is like a painter losing his brushes or a guitarist losing his hands. It stopped him cold. While Rolly eventually rebuilt his business, creating Rock and Rolly Custom Detailing, that initial discovery of the empty parking spot was a gut punch that no one on the cast has forgotten. The mystery of Scott Jones. Talking about people leaving the shop brings us to one of the biggest mysteries in the show's history. Scott Jones. He was the big guy who managed the shop in the first 2 seasons. He was always arguing with Danny about the budget. He was the bad cop to Danny's good cop. Then, poof, he was gone. The internet went wild with this one. People started whispering that he was fired for stealing. They tried to link him to the embezzlement scandal we just talked about. They said Danny caught him with his hand in the cookie jar and kicked him out. But here is the truth, and it is much simpler and surprisingly wholesome. Scott Jones didn't steal a dime. He didn't get fired in a rage. He left because he had a baby son. He wanted to raise his family in Tennessee, not the crazy neon jungle of Las Vegas. It is hard to be a good dad when you are filming a reality TV show 12 hours a day. So he packed up and moved south. He actually opened his own garage in Greenville, Tennessee. He's doing his own thing, on his own terms. The show briefly mentioned he moved, but they didn't make a big deal out of it, which let the rumors fester. But Kevin Mack knows the truth. Scott was a good guy who made a hard choice for his family. It's just another example of how fans create drama where there isn't any. Now, let's fast forward to right now. It is 2025, and there is some actual bad news that has hit the Counts Kustoms family. This is a real, heartbreaking discovery for anyone who loves rock and roll and cars. For years, Danny Koker owned a place called Counts Vamped. It was a rock bar and grill in Las Vegas. It was the hangout spot. The cast would go there after work. Danny's band, Count 77, would play there all the time. It was a temple to good food and loud music. Fans would travel from all over the world just to grab a burger and maybe bump into Kevin or Horny Mike. But in 2025, the announcement came down. Counts Vamped is closing its doors forever. The final show is set for June 28, 2025. This is a massive blow. Running a music venue is incredibly hard. Costs are up, people are going out less, and it just became too much to keep open. For Kevin Mack, this is the loss of a second home. He spent countless nights there, supporting Danny and hanging out with the crew. The closing of Vamped marks the end of an era. It feels like the fun, wild days of the TV show are slowly fading away, replaced by the harsh reality of business. If you are planning a trip to Vegas to see the bar, you better hurry, because soon it will just be a memory. This brings us to the biggest question on everyone's mind. Is Counting Cars canceled? You might have noticed that you haven't seen a new episode in a long time. You flip through the channels and it's all reruns. What is going on? As of 2025, the show is in what Hollywood calls soft cancellation. The History Channel hasn't come out and released a big press release saying it's over. But the cameras aren't rolling. The production crews are gone. The lights are off on the set. This is tough for the shop. The show was a massive commercial for them. It brought in thousands of tourists who wanted to buy t-shirts and keychains. Without the show, things are quieter. But don't panic. The shop is not closed. Kevin Mack is still there every day, running the business. They have shifted gears. Now they focus heavily on the Counts car tour. They load tourists onto a custom bus, often the one Danny and Kevin designed, and drive them around to see the shop, the museum, and other cool spots. The museum is still free and open to the public 7 days a week. Kevin is making sure that even without the TV cameras, the cash register keeps ringing. He is proving that Counts Kustoms is a real business, not just a TV set. The smart car war. We can't talk about the shop without mentioning the wild card, Horny Mike. While Kevin is the serious one, Mike is the chaos. And nothing explains the difference between Kevin and Mike better than the smart car incident. A while back, Mike decided he wanted to customize a smart car. You know, those tiny little electric cars that look like a shoe. Kevin Mack hated the idea. He is an old-school muscle car guy. He told Mike, "Danny hates new cars. Do not do this." Kevin knew that bringing a plastic electric car into a shop famous for American steel was a bad move. But Mike is Mike. He didn't listen. He went rogue. He painted the car green and airbrushed a giant ogre on it. He put lightning bolts on the side. It looked ridiculous. When he finally revealed it, Kevin just shook his head. It was a funny moment, but it showed the constant battle Kevin fights. He has to herd cats. He has to manage a group of eccentric artists who want to paint horns and skulls on everything while he is trying to keep the business respectable. In 2025, Mike is still around. He sells his custom airbrush work and goes to car shows. But that tension between the fun projects and the money projects is something Kevin Mack deals with every single day. One of the reasons people believe the heartbreaking garage rumors is because of how often the show visits car graveyards. These are the most emotional parts of the show. Kevin and Danny drive out into the middle of nowhere to meet some old guy who has 40 cars rotting on his property. To a regular person, it looks like junk, but to Kevin, it is a tragedy. They find 1968 Chargers with trees growing through the engine bays. They find rare Corvettes that have been crushed by collapsed roofs. Kevin often uses the word heartbreaking to describe these scenes. He sees what the car could be, and it hurts him to see it dying in the dirt. There was one trip where they found a stash of old Fords that were so rusted they essentially disintegrated when they touched them. Kevin tried to negotiate with the owner, but the guy wouldn't sell. He wanted to keep his treasure until he died. Kevin walked away from that deal shaking his head. That is the real heartbreak of his job, seeing a beautiful piece of history destroyed by neglect and stubbornness. So, where does that leave Kevin Mack today? If you go online, you might see videos claiming he was fired or that he quit. Let's clear that up right now. Kevin Mack is still the general manager of Counts Kustoms. He has not been fired. He has not quit. In fact, he is more active than ever. He has been hitting the road, doing appearances at major car shows. In January 2025, he was a celebrity guest at the Pittsburgh Autorama. He was shaking hands, signing autographs, and taking pictures with fans. He looks healthy, happy, and just as cool as ever. He is also scheduled to appear at the Napa Syracuse Nationals later in the year. This tells us that he is still the face of the brand right alongside Danny. He isn't hiding in a hole. He isn't suffering from some mysterious tragedy. He is out there working, keeping the Counts Kustoms name alive even without the weekly TV episodes. He still rides his motorcycle with Danny. That bond hasn't broken. They started riding together over 20 years ago, long before the cameras showed up, and they are still riding now. Kevin is the one who keeps Danny grounded. Danny is the dreamer who wants to buy every car he sees. Kevin is the one who checks the bank account and says, "We can't afford it, brother." The survivors. Let's circle back to that garage fire rumor one last time to make sure we bury it for good. The internet is a strange place. When the news broke about Mac Torres's garage burning down in Pueblo, fans of the show started sharing it without reading the details. They saw Mac and panicked. It shows how much people care about Kevin. They feel like they know him. They've watched him stress out over budgets, laugh at Horny Mike, and cruise in his Cadillac for years. The thought of him losing his sanctuary was too much for fans to handle. But rest assured, Kevin's garage is standing tall. His tools are safe. Big Blue is safe. The Z28 is safe. The only things heating up in Kevin's life are the engines he is building and the desert sun in Las Vegas. With the show on pause and the bar closing, the future of Counts Kustoms is changing. They are moving back to their roots. Before the fame, before the TV contracts, they were just a group of guys who loved building cool cars. Kevin Mack is leading this transition. He is focusing on high-end builds for paying customers rather than rushing to finish cars for a TV deadline. TV production is stressful. You have to fake drama, you have to work insane hours, and you have to deal with producers telling you what to say. Now they can just build. They are taking on projects that take months, not weeks. They are doing quality work that will win awards at SEMA. Kevin is steering the ship toward a sustainable future where the quality of the cars speaks for itself. The Counts Car Tour is bringing in a steady stream of fans who just want a glimpse of the magic. So, the next time you see a headline screaming about a heartbreaking discovery behind Kevin Mack's garage, you can relax. The only thing behind his garage door is a badass 1969 Cadillac and a whole lot of horsepower. The real heartbreak was the betrayal by a trusted employee and the end of their favorite bar. But Kevin Mack is a survivor. He's navigated lawsuits, thefts, and the madness of reality TV. And he's still standing, still riding, and still keeping Counts Kustoms on the road. The rumors are fake, but the legacy is 100% real.